Hello, welcome again to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show, where we are going to look at another issue of Metallion. This is a really early one. This is Volume 7, which came out in 1999. And I'm stoked to be doing this issue because this was an issue that I heard about the night before I bought it. So basically, what happened is I went out to dinner with my friends in Japan and I told them that I'd been reading Metallion magazine. And they said, "Oh, wow, Metallion magazine, we haven't heard of that magazine in years." But there's a really good issue that features Ginger and Dragon talking about Super Shit 666 and the Wildhearts and Backyard Babies and stuff. And I said, "Oh, awesome." They said, "You should try and find it." And so I went to Bunk and Rockside, which is this amazing magazine store. I've done a video on it. You can go back and check it. And there it was. I asked the lady there, I said, "Do you have any Metallion magazine?" She said, "Yes, we do." And so she showed me where they all were. I went through them all, picked out a bunch, and this was there, and I was so happy. I love every single band that is mentioned on this cover. Like, there's not a band there that I would skip over. So to get this was pretty mind blowing for me. So, anyway, let's have a look, shall we? So, there's your cover. Look at these bands: Ginger, Dragon, the Wildhearts, Backyard Babies, Yo-Yos, Enough's Enough, Cheap Trick, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Ramones, Hanoi Rocks, Hellacopters, Thunder, and Spike from Choir Boys. This is incredible. Now, obviously, Metallion has changed a bit over the years. The quality is much, much better in the way that the paper is and stuff like that. It's a lot thicker magazine, but there's less pages because the pages are thicker. But anyway, let's have a look. So we open it up, and we have this awesome advert for the Backyard Babies. Love these two records. These two records are amazing. Total 13 and Safety Pin and Leopard Skin. Then we have the contents page. Now look at that. Oh, so good. Obviously, it's a little bit crusty in here, but what do you get for a used magazine? So here we go. An interview about Super Shit 666, which is, one of the greatest EPs ever. If you've never listened to it, you should check that out. It is fantastic. One of the best EPs by a supergroup ever. I mean, you got Thomas Skogsberg on bass and Nicky Helicopter on the drums, plus these two guys on vocals and guitar. It's just brutal. So good. Everything is just pushed to 11 and yeah, just distorted as hell. It's so good, man. Really is. They do the original version of Star Wars Jr., which ended up on Making Enemies is Good by Backyard Babies. So there we go. Very, very cool. I kind of wish that they would do another album. I mean, that EP is so good. It would have been so good to hear more from them. Here we go. Exclusive interview with the Yo-Yos. I love this band. If you've never listened to the Yo-Yos, I did a video on them, so you can go back and check that out as well. Fantastic band. Absolutely incredible stuff. Their record is just phenomenal. It was released on Sub Pop, and it's just wild. Such a good album. So there we go. I got to see them live one time in the Camden Underworld in December of 2000, and it was so good. So the thing I'm loving about this issue is this favorite albums thing, where all these band members are talking about their favorite records. And it's so cool to go through it and actually see what they're into and what inspired them or for whatever reason. And it's very varied. Like, especially when you get to the helicopter section, like you're going to, I mean, for any us Aussies, it's pretty wild, the albums that they pick. So yeah, very, very cool. I mean, for me to sit down and pick my best albums, it would be pretty hard because I don't know. I'm not even going to think about it. I mean, I'm glad that nobody ever interviews me because if they interviewed me and asked me that question, I'd be pretty stumped. I don't know what my favorite albums of all time would be. There's just so many good ones. But yeah, Cheap Trick. I freaking love Cheap Trick. One of my favorite rock and roll bands ever. Just like mega anthem after mega anthem. Such a good band. Discography interview on the Wildhearts. Now, I have an episode coming up soon on the Wildhearts. It's a long one though. Okay. So you really have to, brace yourself for that one because it's a long one because there is so much to talk about with the Wildhearts and the records and discovering them, finding them. etc., etc., and also, you know, ending up in their music videos and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot to talk about. So I look forward to sharing that one with you. It's a long one. It's taken me a while to put together because it's so long. But yeah, you will enjoy it if you're a Wildhearts fan. So here we go. This is cool to look at all these records. I love all of these records. Every single record is amazing. Even Endless Nameless that people are divided on. I think Endless Nameless is cool as. So distorted and wild and crazy. It's just unreal. So obviously this is up till 1999. Obviously it doesn't include any of the albums post that because I guess this was them breaking up one of the times that they did. So here we go. The Hellacopters. Nicky Anderson talks about his favorite albums. Now, the reason why that this is so exciting for me as an Aussie, you know, I mean, besides the usual AC/DC, you've got Radios Appear by Radio Birdman, you've got Distemper by the New Christ, as well as Power Age by AC/DC. But on top of that, Time Wounds All Heals by the Powder Monkeys is one of his favorite records. And I think that's pretty awesome because it's an amazing record and everyone should own it because it's unreal. So here we go, Luke Morley and Spike, ex-Choir Boys, and the guy from Thunder. So very, very cool. Yeah, awesome. The Choir Boys, didn't they get back together after this anyway, like everybody does? But yeah, Helicopter's third album release. That was Grande Rock, wasn't it? The third record from memory? Yeah, Grande Rock. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Grande Rock. Why did I even... I mean, my channel's called Long Gone Loser. I should have known that off the top of my head straight away, but my brain's fried. I've been working night shift non-stop. The Jellies. What a great band. Includes CJ from the Wildhearts. Awesome power pop. If you're into power pop and you like, you know, just melodic rock out of England, well then, yeah, the Jellies is going to be a band that you're going to be into. Three Colors Red, another great band. Chris McCormack went on to be in Grand Theft Audio, who are also awesome. But Three Colors Red, I really like them. I really do. I think they had some really fantastic songs. Like, I mean, I know Beautiful Day is kind of like the hit single and whatever, but I really like that song. I think that song's fantastic. Well written. So well written. But yeah, there's just so many good songs. Never got to see them live though, which I wish I did. Paul Gilbert. Paul Gilbert is massive in Japan. Like, he is just huge over there. I mean, I don't know how big he is everywhere else, you know, ironically being from Mr. Big, but just in Japan, like, there is Paul Gilbert stuff everywhere. Like, everything from signed guitars to just posters of him. You know, his albums are everywhere. It's incredible to see how big he really is over there. Backyard Babies. Their favorite albums. Now, I mean, a lot of them are, you know, ones you would expect. But they like a lot of good records. Rocket to Russia, Funhouse, Too Much Too Soon, Social Distortion, Shout the Devil by Motley Crue. There's so much cool stuff in here. Check Your Head by Beastie Boys. What an album that. That album is fantastic. Check Your Head by Beastie Boys. Young, Loud and Snotty, of course. Earth vs. the Wildhearts. Good to see AC/DC getting a shout out. Hanoi Rocks, Dogs Dear More. Ace of Spades by Motorhead, of course. Just so many good albums here. And so cool they, you know, Monster Magnet, Dopes to Infinity. What an album that is. Unreal. Love that album. They even include Entombed. And Like a Virgin by Madonna, which has got probably my favourite record cover ever, or one of my favourite record covers ever. Guns N' Roses. Now, I just did a video on Appetite for Destruction, so you can go back and check that out if you're interested. I just talk about how I think it's just like the greatest, one of the greatest albums ever. But yeah, very cool. I wish I got to see them back then. Hanoi Rocks. What a band. I think if you're a fan of this channel, then you're probably a fan of Hanoi Rocks. Just such a good band. Really good rock and roll songs. And I like all the eras of Hanoi Rocks. And I saw them in the later era and they were still phenomenal. I saw them twice in Japan and they were just unreal. Like, such a good band. Aerosmith, another one of my favorite rock and roll bands of all time. Motley Crue, classic. Seen them God knows how many times. Even my old band got to open for them once. That was pretty wild. On their The End tour, which really wasn't the end at all, was it? The Ramones, my favorite band of all time. Love them. Okay, now Do Anything, The Life and Times of the Wildhearts. So Darren Stockford. I've met Darren Stockford and hung out with Darren Stockford, and really nice guy. Really, really nice guy. So yeah, he used to run something to do with the Wildhearts. Did he used to run their fan club or something? I can't remember. Anyway, the Wildhearts. So this goes up until 1999, and it features lots of writing here and about stuff. So you want to get into it, you can use your Google Translate app, and you can check this out. So much stuff to see and read in these magazines. I love it. Unreal. Ginger and Devin Townsend. If you've never heard Christine by Devin Townsend, you need to. It's such a good song. You can tell it was heavily inspired by Ginger. So there we go. Just staff, merch, the whole deal. Lots of adverts, some more photos of the Wildhearts. And this Wildhearts Japan Tour 1998. Now, it says tour final, which I'm assuming means that they were breaking up after this, but we all know that didn't last. But I find it interesting that they included all the set lists, because in Osaka they played 20 songs, in Tokyo they played 21, in Nagoya they played 14, and in Tokyo there they played 13. What happened there? I'd like to know what actually happened, like why that happened, why the sets were a lot shorter. When they played these really big long ones. I don't know, were they being recorded for a live album or something? That's why. Maybe that was the light. No, was it? I can't remember. There we are. It's a cool live photo of the band. Lots more live photos. I guess a review of the shows. Very cool. So probably if I read this, I'll understand why the sets were shorter. I haven't got round to reading this yet. So, yeah. I got so much stuff I got to catch up on. So it's taking a little longer than normal. Very, very cool. Alrighty. We're coming towards the end of the magazine now. An exclusive interview with Ginger. And yeah. Ginger's best album 1998. Fatboy Slim, Slayer, Devin Townsend, Jason the Scorchers, and Monster Magnet Power Trip. Some heavy hitters there. So here we go. That is it. This is the end of Metallion magazine. And now look how many pages this one was, right? Like the Metallion magazines now are not 128, 29 pages. You know what I mean? So, but there you go. And Wildhearts on the back there. Very, very cool. So that's a look at Metallion Volume 7. I love this magazine. And I'm sure if you read it, you would too. This dive into this magazine is a look at it. So for those who are interested but have never seen it before, they can actually see the contents and see if it's something worth tracking down. That's the reason I do these videos. I just do them to show you what's in them. So if it does interest you and you're curious or whatever, you can see what's in it and then, see whether it's worth investing in buying a copy or not. This cost me 1,500 yen, so about 15 bucks. But there we go. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. Take care of yourselves, look after each other, read Metallion, buy some records, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.